Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Tuesday, the 6th of December. Following Robert Murray McShane, one of the chapters we read today is Luke chapter 20. And as seems to happen quite often, Jesus is having a bit of an altercation with the scribes and the Pharisees. And it begins with them coming to him and saying, "Whose authority do you have to do this? You're doing all these things, preaching. Who gives you that authority?" And Jesus' response is interesting. He could have said, "I have the authority of God. God has filled me with the Holy Spirit. At my baptism, God said I am." There are all sorts of answers he could have given. But his answer to them is the following: "I will ask you a question. Tell me, John's baptism, was it from heaven or from men?" And Luke records that gave them pause for thought. And they said, if we say it was from heaven, he will challenge us. If John came from heaven, why didn't you listen to him? Why did you ignore him and write him off? If we say John's baptism was a human construct, he had no divine authority, the people will turn against us, because all the people had recognized the authority that John exercised was divine authority. So they were stuck between a devil and a deep blue sea. And Jesus put them there. He knew that they wouldn't be able to answer that question. And that's why he responded like that. And they said, we don't know. We can't answer that. He says, well, I'm not going to answer you either. And a little bit later, they come to trap him. And they say, should we pay taxes to Caesar or not? And they've got a whole lot of Herodians there, people that support the Roman system. And Jesus answers again in a very clever way. He says to them, show me a denarius. Whose portrait and inscription is this? He asks them. And they say, Caesar's. And his response is, then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. And so he doesn't say to them, yes, you must pay taxes, but he says, look, it's got his name on it, belongs to him, give it back to him. But don't give him what you should give to God, which is worship. So he protected the religious establishment, saying, we're not here, Caesar isn't a God, we worship God, and we worship God only. But taxes, the money Caesar's, has his name on it. And as I was reading this, it struck me once again, Jesus showing wisdom without selling out. He really displays what it means to be as wise as a serpent and as innocent as a dove. And I read that and I thought, Jesus would not be described as a nice person. And as Christians, we're not called to be nice. I had the opportunity to look up the word nice in the scriptures, and it doesn't occur. It is not a Christian virtue. It is not a Christian word, niceness. We're called to be truthful. We're called to be honest. We're called to be loving. We're called to be to have integrity. There's all sorts of other things we're called to be, not nice. And Jesus was often, when confronted by the Pharisees, Jesus was not nice either. He was confronting, he was challenging, but he was always compassionate to those who needed it. So be challenged to follow Jesus, to not just be nice, but to be Christlike in our dealings with the world. As we do that, we'll challenge the world will be improved, and we will be blessed. Go well.